Hi everyone, Patricia here. In this video, I'm going to talk about calm, the power of calm, what it is, why it's so important, and what it creates in our worlds. So calm, the definition of calm is literally to be undisturbed, to be unagitated, to be feeling, still and tranquil. So this is an internal state, that we are talking about, that is fundamentally critical in order to be able to show up the best way that we can. So obviously, there are events and situations, people that have the ability to take us off our game, to create a lack of calmness, that will agitate us in a way that is stressful or annoying. So the stronger I have developed in a deliberate way my inner strength of calm, the less likely that can negatively impact me, those circumstances and people. That just makes sense, right? I like to think about in terms of threshold, that when I haven't developed a good sense of calm, that what happens is I'm low threshold. And that means that I will get annoyed easier. That events will feel very stressful for me, right? Like things will rattle me, things will take me off my game quicker and stronger. And then there's high threshold, so that when I've developed calm, then I'll have a higher threshold. And that means that those same situations do not have the same ability to disturb my deliberateness and my focus in the world, right? So threshold can be a really useful way of thinking about, how to be developing this calmness. I love to think about calm as really the origin, the foundation of all of our superpowers, like literally our smartness, our experience, our talents, our brilliance in the world is capacitated by how calm we are. That when I'm calm, that's where I get to be focused and deliberate, confident, and having the kinds of influence that I want to have. When I'm not calm, it's the opposite. And you'll notice that it doesn't matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter how brilliant you are. When you are rattled inside, like it is not a good thing. And, and so again, not able to create what you want in the world as effectively as you can. And I've always loved the story of Sully. That's the air pilot that landed the airplane on the Hudson River. This was in 2009, I think. And so there's a movie out called Sully, I think, and really good movie, highly recommend it. But there's a scene in that movie where you can, hear the actual cockpit recordings of when Sully was talking to the air traffic controller. So here he is in the air with a plane full of people. He has no engines. He's in the middle of New York, the larger New York City area, and he's got to immediately land his plane somewhere. So this is a very stressful emergency situation. And yet the conversation was calm and it was cool. And literally it's, hey, why don't you turn left to see if you can go there? Nope, can't do that. Well, why don't you turn right to see if you can go there? Nope, can't do that either. And in the end, the air traffic controller says, bank left and go to this runway in New Jersey. And Sully literally said, that's not going to happen. I'm going to land the plane on the Hudson River. Just like he would if he was in a restaurant and ordering, I think I'll have the pasta and not the pizza. It was that calm. And so why is that important for us? Because what we know for pilots is that they train to be calm in those kinds of situations. So they practice it. So they don't need to make a decision when the stress is all around them. Oh, I think I'll be calm now. They've developed this through the practice, through the training. And incidentally, Sully did end up landing that plane successfully on the Hudson River, and everybody lived to tell the tale, right? So we can also develop a practice of calm. We can train to be calm, and we need to train to be calm. If these days of world pandemic have taught us nothing, it is how, right, we need to be able to mobilize in ways that we can bring our brilliance in a calm way to tough situations and tough problems. So I think about calmness, and how we can develop calmness in sort of 3 categories. And I find that this is really helpful, that there are things that we can literally be doing so that we can be developing this power of calm. The one category has to do with preparation for known stressful events, right? So sometimes we know we're going to be going into a meeting, we're going to be going and having a conversation, and we know it's going to be tense and stressful, right? We know that from the get-go. So what can we be doing to prepare ourselves? It's always surprising to me, when I hear feedback from my clients or leaders that they don't do that. They're not taking the 10, 15 minutes, whatever it takes, to literally get themselves into a situation or a place where they can be in that calm in a deliberate way, right, throughout as they're moving into that stressful situation, right? So, what are we doing to prepare? What are we saying to ourselves? What are we doing with our bodies? How are we moving our bodies? How are we priming our environments to set ourselves up for success? Key ways to be building calm. Another category of calm is what I call emergency relief, because sometimes, let's face it, despite our best efforts, right, that we end up in situations that we start to be feeling, rattled and stressed, right, that we start to get agitated. And to recognize that and to be able to turn it around is huge in terms of how we can continue to advance whatever we're having that conversation about or whatever that meeting is about. And again, it's paying attention to what are we telling ourselves in those moments? How can we switch that up? What are the words that we're using? What are we doing so that we can continue to ensure, right, that we are, leading with the highest level of calm possible? That's where the power is, right? And then finally, the third category of calm is really how do we have, strategic and planning around how we are, cultivating this inner strength, this inner ability to self-regulate. And these are things like nutrition, sleep. Arianna Huffington has done so much, to raise everybody's awareness of why we need sleep. So what are the best practices around how we can set ourselves up for success with that? What about movement? That there are so many different practices that we can do that when we do, in some regular way, almost like ritualistic ways, that we can be developing this superpower of calm. So I hope that you take this to heart, and prioritize how you're building calm in your own life, in your own world. Now more than ever, we need to be able to be shining with our brilliance, and developing calm capacitates our ability to do just that. I've developed a checklist for calm, the calm checklist, and you're welcome to it. I'll put a link in the comments and you can download that there. But it really is a great starting place for how we can build those strategic practices so that we are constantly improving and building, developing calmness within ourselves. I hope you found this helpful and useful. I'll be back with another video. In the meantime, I hope you stay very healthy and I hope you stay very sane.